Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kirsten and this is Small Bobbins. So Happy New Year and best wishes! I'm really excited to be in 2020 now, not only because it's a new year, you know, fresh start, I'm really into that sort of stuff, but also because the holiday season is over and my kids are back at school, I get my home office back again, I can get back to work. I'm very excited about that. I always like to do some sort of like year in review, especially with my sewing and looking at the things that I made, things that I didn't make or that didn't work, things that I'm looking forward to making in the new year. And this year, Romy from Romy Sews, she's got her own YouTube channel now, you should go check it out. And also she was one of my co-hosts for Knicker November, if you remember that. So she set up a little just set of questions for looking back on the previous year and looking forward to the new year, and so I'm just taking her format, and you know, if you want to see her videos, she's got one up as well. There's probably a lot of other sewing vloggers who are doing this too. But anyway, on with this. So, what was my favorite make of 2019? I had to go through my Instagram to figure out what I actually made this year. Like, 2019 was the year of setting up Small Bobbins, my online boutique for lingerie making supplies. But it seems like I did have plenty of sewing energy near the beginning of last year, because I made some garments, I couldn't even remember if I had made them in 2019 or if they were previous makes, that I really ended up loving. I would say I really couldn't choose between two of them, so kind of besides all of the lingerie that I made, my favorite garments that I made would be this brown corduroy pinafore that I made from a vintage Simplicity pattern, and a Perkins shirt, which is a pattern by Ensemble Patterns, that I actually used the fabric from a make that didn't turn out so great. It's this like sheer see-through like polyester stuff with these like plasticky gold dots all over it, and it's like really beautiful. It's not like the greatest fabric, and I made a bias cut skirt out of it, but I like totally messed up the tension with my serger, and so like the side seam was all messed up, like the hem was really terrible, and of course it's see-through, and like I messed up the lining as well. It like didn't fit my hips correctly, so I wore it once and kind of never wore it out again. But the pieces were big enough that I could cut this cropped version of the Perkins shirt out of it, and like I love the shirt. Like I love the shirt. It's really one of those situations where it's like this fabric needed to be that shirt, and I'm so happy it worked out. Obviously it's see-through, but I have so many cute bralettes that I can wear underneath of it. Like it always works out fine, especially with the Noel, which is, you know, kind of like a big crop top bralette. Like it just ends up looking really cute. A new pattern that I've enjoyed. I don't think this is one that came out in 2019, but I would say my favorite pattern that I discovered in 2019 would be the Mila bralette by Mood. Like the Mood patterns, they're all free. They can be kind of hit or miss, like even just like the styling or like the design of it, like some of them are really wacky, but I don't know, something about the Mila, it fits me really well. Like it's really dramatic with the extra straps and stuff, and the first version that I made just looks like so stunning that like I'm making several more at least. New skills or techniques that I've learned, I would have to say everything related to lingerie sewing. Like sewing lingerie, I mean, dealing with fine fabrics and applying the elastic and things like that, like it does take practice. And if you've caught my series about making 10 pairs of panties or 10 pairs of bralettes, which also included matching panties, or any of the other random sets that I've posted on Instagram throughout the year, you will know that I've made a lot of lingerie this year, and so I've had plenty of time to practice, and I think I'm getting pretty good finally. Fitting is another thing, but at least for constructing bras and bralettes and panties and all that stuff, I think I'm really getting the hang of it. My favorite sewing moment of 2019. I guess it's not really a sewing moment, it's sewing related, but I would have to say opening my web shop. It's something that I worked on for months and months. It took a lot of work. I quit my regular job to be able to do it, and yeah, I finally launched last July and it's been great. So that's really a huge achievement for me. It's my favorite moment of 2019 for sure. And my favorite sewing challenge. I mean, obviously I hosted one, so I'm going to be a bit biased and say that. Knicker November was a lot of fun. I had never hosted a sewing challenge before, and being busy with the shop opening, I didn't really end up paying attention to a lot of other sewing challenges, but when Laura and Romy invited me to co-host with them, like, it just worked out really well. I was so happy with the results of it, and like getting to interact with the community and getting people to sew underwear. It was a lot of fun. And now, looking on to 2020. So what are 3 fabrics that I want to liberate from my stash? So considering that I did put a lot of personal sewing on hold last year, there are still a lot of fabrics in my stash. Like, I don't think I bought much new fabric, but I already had a huge stash, and it didn't get any smaller, like, at all. So there's still a ton of stuff that I have, that I still have plans for, that I still want to use. I would say it's going to be hard to narrow it down to just 3. I have black stretch denim that I bought in London, and it's dying to become a pair of black skinny jeans, which, like, my wardrobe desperately needs anyway. So that must happen. It really must happen. I also have 2 sets of fabric. One is for making kind of a wearable muslin, and one is for making the final version. I really want to make like a nice, cool, casual, kind of slouchy blazer. So we'll see. Yeah, I know I'm already up to 3 fabrics, but there's still a couple more I want to talk about. I went on a bit of a shopping spree either last year or like the end of 2018, and bought a bunch of stuff from the fabric store in New Zealand. So they're well known for their beautiful, just like beautiful premium merino wool, and it's not stuff that you can easily find in any like European based shops. And they had a sale, and I split the shipping with a couple other girls in Belgium. We still got hit with some insane customs charges though, so I wouldn't really recommend buying from them. But I have the fabrics, they're beautiful. I've only used one so far, so I still have kind of a large stash of beautiful merino wool, and I really want to make some good stuff with it, especially since Belgian winter is going to drag on for a couple more months. Like, I will still get plenty of use out of it. And last, there is this like bright hot pink fabric. Like, if I made something with it, it's totally going to be like a sew frosting type of garment, but it's just like this kind of like slubby, kind of shiny, super eye-searing bright pink fabric that I have. I am very sure that I got it at a designer stock sale, and if you know Elisa Lex from By Hand London, she's talked about kind of her first sewing garment was this kind of poofy pink skirt. And she even recently, like somewhat recently, probably within the past year or so, recreated it because that first skirt finally was like falling apart. It's got a zipper in it and a waistband, I believe, but I'm just kind of in love with the idea, and I want a big pink skirt. So we'll see if that actually happens, because I won't have a lot of sewing time this year either, so I need to be practical about how I use my time. But sometimes sewing a big pink skirt is a practical way to use your time. So we'll see. I still have a huge stash. I don't even know what's in there anymore. Patterns that I'm looking forward to making this year, I'm just gonna skip lingerie, because there's a ton of lingerie stuff that I'm just like dying to make. It's kind of a given at this point. I want to make a lot of lingerie, but also I want to make coats and jackets. Again, I'm not sure how feasible it is that I'll actually get around to making all of these coats and jackets that I want to make, but I want a very good winter jacket. If you caught my Instagram stories recently, I talked about my Make 9 for this year, and I just really desperately need a good winter jacket that like zips all the way up to my neck, and it covers more of my legs, and it doesn't like flap open when I'm riding my bike. It's something I didn't really think about when I made 2 wool coats that, you know, kind of have these like deep v-necks and only have like a button for a closure. Like, it's not very practical for bike riding, so I need a good like bike riding winter coat. Also, I want to make that great, cool, casual, slouchy blazer that I was talking about, and I also want a kind of spring trench coat as well. Something that's, you know, still cool and slouchy and casual, I think you're getting a good idea of like the mindset I'm in for this year. Just gonna be very cool. A sewing event that I'm excited for. I am going to be attending my first sewing workshop, so that's going to be really exciting for me. You know, living in Belgium but not really speaking Dutch that well, I've kind of avoided going to any just because like my comprehension, it's like fine, but it's not that great, and I've been hesitant to like sign up for a workshop where I might not get so much out of it. But anyway, very good friend of mine, Leisha from Hari Ito Patterns. You're really gonna hear me talking about her a lot, like we're becoming very good friends. She has invited me to a sewing workshop that she's hosting next month for her pattern, the Rafale bra, and so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go to Antwerp, which is another big city in Belgium, and learn how to make a bra. Which brings us on to the next point, what's a new skill that I want to try this year, and that is making an underwire bra. I actually have made an underwire bra before. It was like the beginning of last year. I made 2 versions of the Cindy Longline bra by Olulu, and like the bra itself came out okay. I had a hard time applying the channeling. Like that was really the most challenging part that I had, but then also it didn't really fit well, and I made a second version. I have a couple books about bra construction and fitting and stuff like that, and I thought I kind of made good choices with how to change the pattern, but the second one also didn't turn out to fit me well either. So I did kind of the worst thing when you're trying to learn how to sew and just kind of put off sewing any underwire bras for the entire rest of the year. But this year I'm going to make an underwire bra and it's going to fit. I know it. And last, what is anything that I'm looking forward to this year? And my goodness, I wish I could tell you everything that I'm planning for this year. Obviously, like my business and kind of growing that and making it the best it can be is going to be a big focus for 2020 for me. But I can't really reveal everything that I'm working on just yet. I would suggest that if you are curious about what I'm going to be up to, who I'm going to be working with, hint hint, then perhaps you would like to sign up for my newsletter. You can find it at smallbobbins.com, of course, or I included a link to it in the description box as well. And that'll be the best way to really keep up to date with any shop announcements, stuff like that. There's going to be a lot of announcements this year because there's a lot of good stuff coming. Okay, so that is my 2019 year in review and my 2020 things that I'm looking forward to. I hope you enjoyed this chatty little video, and I'll be back soon with more lingerie tutorials, sewing tips, tricks, advice, all that stuff, things that I'm making, things that I'm working on, you know, all sorts of cool stuff's coming up. And don't forget, if you need any lingerie sewing supplies to make beautiful bras and panties, maybe it's something that's on your list for 2020 to start making your own lingerie, be sure to head over to smallbobbins.com and check out everything that I have to offer. Alright, that's it for now. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!